in the Gambia's AFCON Group A qualifiers. For Morocco 2025, Gambia sits on a single point, third in the group. Currently, Tunisia occupies top spot after a 100% record, after they defeated the Gambia 2-1, and we are going to dissect into that result, what happened. But first, let's look at the goals that we conceded, but the match report first, the defeat to the Tunisian side 2-1. Independence Stadium remains out of service. This was another home game away from home for the Gambia. Tunisia securely controlled Group A of the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers after a 2-1 victory over the Gambia in Morocco on Sunday, thanks to goals in either half from Ali Abdi and Mohamed Ben Romhem. The Carthage Eagles demonstrated why they were tipped as group favourites in the second half with a strong performance, which resulted in Ben Romhem's winning goal. Tunisia took the lead early in the 11th minute when Ali Abdi headed in a rebound shot from a free kick parried by Gambian custodian Sheikh Sibi. After conceding, the Scorpions reassembled in pursuit of an equalizer. Yankuba Minte charged forward, cuts to the right, beat three players and passed to Ali Sow, whose deflected drive finds the back of the net in the 14th minute to make it 1-1. It was the forward's first goal for his country in a competitive match. The Gambia applied at least 15 minutes of persistent pressure on the Tunisian team following their equalizer. Yankuba Minte wasted a golden scoring opportunity. Musa Barrow's shot was saved by the keeper, and Aliou Fadera's close-range strike glanced off the post. Tunisia dominated in the second half with more possession and goal-mouth efforts, and after several quick passing and transition play, Mohamed Ben Romhem's shot went in to make it 2-1 in the 75th minute. The Scorpions pressed but failed to get back on level terms in the remaining 15 minutes. After only gaining a single point in 2 matches, the Gambia now faced a difficult assignment in the next round of qualifiers in October with a double-leg tie against Madagascar. Tunisia are top with maximum 6 points from 2 matches. There you go. As described in that piece, Tunisia 6 points, maximum 100% record in the group, and currently they're on pole position. Maybe they just need 4 points more to qualify for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. For the Gambia, is a Herculean task. It's going to be at least to win their next 4 matches, or by the list of imaginations, get 9 points out of the 12 they're going to play for, that is in the next 4 games. Like I described there in the piece, against Madagascar, that's a double leg, and then Comoros, then Tunisia. Well, joining me in the studio to discuss this is my colleague Amadou Tamba, who has been also following the game and watched it. Amadou, your assessment of Tunisia-Gambia.
Well, thank you very much, Gallagher, and a very good morning to all the viewers of the Qsports. I think Gambia, Tunisia, the performance-wise, it wasn't bad, but the biggest problem for the Scorpions is, of course, the finishing aspect. And in the beautiful game of football, no matter how you play, if you don't take your chances, absolutely, it doesn't mean anything, because you end up losing games. And looking at the coach Jonathan McKinstry after the game, you will feel very sorry for him, looking at the body language and how he was, because he knew that it's a game that the Gambia could have absolutely won. The team played well and of course went forward, crafted numerous goal scoring opportunities, were unable to score. The only goal that we scored was when Yankuba Minte had a very good run down the right. That's of course his strength, and he can beat past defenders. Took 2 of the Tunisian defenders down before pulling the ball into the 6-yard area, and Ali Sow in a turn and managed to just get that one into the back of the net. Aside from that one, we had other numerous goal scoring chances, and I think that is an area that after these qualifiers, God forbid, if we don't qualify, we can say we were let down by our finishing. And look, if we had taken our chances, by now, Gambia could have been the team coming out of Morocco with the maximum 6 points and a very, very healthy goal difference, because we should have won against Comoros, absolutely, hands down, and due respect to Comoros, we should have won. Against Tunisia, it's a game that we definitely should have won, because looking at history of recent, Tunisia have never been a problem to the Gambia. We've defeated them before, and we also defeated them in the African Cup of Nations in a game where we had not much to play for in that time, because we've already booked our place in the next round. So losing against Tunisia is absolutely a very bitter pill to swallow for the Gambia and the coach as well. And I think these are two games that we will definitely regret at the end of the qualifiers if we don't pick maximum points to qualify.
Tough one. Well, according to the coach, Jonathan McKinstry, what he posted on his social media page, Facebook to be precise, it reads, "There is work to be done, but the progress is clear. We're embracing an exciting attacking style and the fight and creativity on the pitch, so it takes saves. This is just the beginning, and we are confident it will lead to success of our fans, or the success our fans deserve." Well, Amadou, this is coming from a coach. Yes, he wants to play attacking football, or he's already started playing attacking football. Beautiful, exciting. But the desired results for the past few games hasn't been coming. You've described the missing chances. Could he adjust something else in the team?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've said this when Tom was here, and I'll continue to say this. For me, it doesn't matter how a coach plays. At the end of the day, you're judged by the results. That's why I've not been a very big critic of how Tom plays defensively or so. What I am interested in is, of course, getting the results for the country. And look, a national team, you don't have a whole 1 week or 2 weeks to prepare a national team. You just have to look into the players who will come in and fit your system to help you win games. So that is why, as a coach, it doesn't matter how you play, just get the result. Tom was absolutely, he had a plan for the national team. His plan really worked very well, because he took us to the African Cup of Nations twice. And in his first AFCON tournament, he went all the way to the quarterfinals, which a lot of Gambians absolutely never thought that would come for the Gambia. For McKinstry, he has a different approach. He's a coach who definitely wants to attack, play good football. And you look at his past, he has already played 4 games for the Gambia, with the Gambia national team. His team is absolutely playing very well. They keep possession, they attack. And you look at even the Tunisia game, it has been long since we saw a team sat back and give respect to the Gambia. And that absolutely happened in our game against Tunisia. They showed respect whenever we are on the ball, because they know we have players who can hurt them anytime. And then that is good, but the problem is finishing. And coaches will absolutely find time to work on that, but players also have to take responsibility, because when you get onto the pitch, if you have a chance, no coach will come and hold your leg and say, "Go, guy, this is the way you score goals." You train that at the training ground, and you have to come into the game, be relaxed enough, be confident that you can absolutely put it in the back of the net, and try to replicate what the coach taught you. So I think that aspect, it's a responsibility, a divided responsibility. The coaches have to take their own. The players also have to be ready to take the responsibility of trying to finish chances. You see, a lot of Gambians are very excited with the number of players that we have right now, because they're doing it for their clubs. They're scoring goals for their clubs. So why are they not able to replicate that with the national team? And they're absolutely very fine players. So that is something that we really need to look into. Why are our players scoring for their clubs? And when they come to the national team, chances that Gambians believe that these are absolutely finishable chances, they are not being able to take that. Once we identify that problem and solve that problem, we'll be able to take our chances when we play games. Another aspect is we are calling youngsters who are absolutely doing very well for their respective clubs. They will come into the national team, sit out for the 2 games that they are with the national team. To me, I think they also need to be given the opportunity to say, look, if Ali is to play, for instance, half an hour, he had a chance or 2, didn't capitalize, give a youngster on the bench, throw him into the fray, give him the opportunity and tell him, look, this is an opportunity for you. You have to battle with him. If you do the goods, the place is yours. Look, Abdoulaye Cissé has been an absolute brilliant striker. He was with Real de Banjul, scoring goals in the league, went to Paide in Estonia. Absolutely, that kid went into the biggest club football in Europe, the Conference League, the Europa League qualifiers, and he was absolutely delivering the goods for Paide. So I think
he was scoring goals.
Yeah, in the 2 games that we played against Comoros and Tunisia, I believe even if it is for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, he should have gotten the opportunity for him to show us what he got with the national team. Because I know the kid is very hungry. I'm not saying other players are not hungry, but if they're missing chances, you give others the opportunity. Aliou Fadera had glorious chances that he should have capitalized. Aliou, take nothing out of him. He's a brilliant player.
The issue of trust comes in here when it comes to coaches. Okay, these are the players that I'm used to. These are the players that I think have made a name for themselves. This is just a youngster, kind of.
Yeah, sometimes the issue of trust comes in. Just even when Tom was here, he had a trusted set of players that he absolutely goes with. And those players have been delivering the goods for him, have been giving him the results. Now, McKinstry is just coming in. But he will absolutely also be looking at a lot of players and see to it that, well, okay, I will trust in Gajaga. I will give the opportunity to Amadou and see what he's going to do. But there is absolutely that sense of trust when it comes to coaches. They trust certain number of players that, look, these players will absolutely do the goods for me. But if you trust the player and he's not delivering, take him off. And at times, they'll be like, okay, he missed this first opportunity. Let me give him time to see what he does with the next opportunity. And time is not waiting. And this is a national team. People want to get results. So I think that is also an area that we really need to look into. And as I said, he is a coach who looks at the caliber of player you are and the game that he's going into, whether you fit the system of that game or so. And as time goes on, I believe we might see changes when it comes to the front line of the Gambia, because we cannot go into games and be squandering such chances, big chances that we definitely have to capitalize. It's absolutely not telling well, because at the end of the day, in a game of football, the results matters most.
Absolutely.
When the game is finished, you will not be asked who played well. Yeah. The first question that people ask is who won.
Yes, definitely. So if you look at the fixture on that day, which played against Tunisia, certain changes as opposed to the Comoros game. Seeing the likes of Ibu Adams started on the bench. Ablai Jallow, arguably Gambia's best player in recent years, was also on the bench. He preferred Aliou Fadera on the left side, Yankuba Minte on the right, then Musa Barrow in front of them, as well as Ali Sow playing as the number 9. Ali Sow eventually scored his first competitive goal for the Gambia. Good day for him. Yes, bad day because we lost eventually as a team, but at least for him, he was able to be on the score sheet.
Yeah, good day for Ali. He has been a very good striker. We've all watched him in the league. He has been absolutely prolific in the Gambia here. Before moving abroad, he has traded so many clubs in Europe and other parts of the world. He's an absolute brilliant striker who's good in the air, good with his both feet. But another aspect is, I think we got a little detail wrong in the Tunisia game. One, Abdoulaye Jallow, when I saw him on the bench, I was surprised, because he's a player that I believe the Tunisian side will absolutely talked about before that game.
Yeah, sure.
So when they saw him on the bench, I believe it would have been a very big relief for the Tunisians. Sure. I don't know why McKinstry decided to put him on the bench, but I think Ablai could have done us very good when he started that game against Tunisia. Other players, the likes of Ibrahim Akoli, I think to me, I don't have a problem with Koli starting from the bench, because I believe his firepower is absolutely coming off the bench. That is when Koli absolutely does his brilliance. And but in that game against Tunisia, I think he was kept on the bench for so long. The time that he came in is just a matter of it's just a formality for him to come on. But I don't think he would have impacted the game that much. And then in midfield, there is one issue that the Gambia national team also need to sort out, is that base, that pivot in the middle, the holding midfielder is absolutely a very, very important aspect in our game. Once we get that player to be sitting in front of the defense, and that player who can be able to connect the defense and the attacking front, will be able to do goods. If not, it's going to be a change of personnel game in, game out, and there will be no consistency in there. We've seen Ibu Adams play there against Comoros. He did a good job. But in the game against Tunisia, it was Hamza who came in. And then I think this one will go out to the government, the federation, to be very much alert that any time there is an international window, Gambia needs to play test games. Sure. Why did I say that? There are so many young players out there who will not get the opportunity to come into the national team in qualifying matches.
Game, yes.
Mm-hmm. So it is an opportunity for these youngsters to get the opportunity to come and play in international matches, friendly matches for that matter. right now, we've all seen what Mahmoud Bajo did for the Gambia under 20, at the under 20 WAFU and the under 20 Cup of Nations. And that kid is absolutely doing very well. He was doing well for Zelezian, and then now for DAC, he's absolutely doing so well in his club. Aruna Rashid Njai was an absolute brilliant player here. He played for Gunjur and played for the under 20, and absolutely workaholic. He's so passionate, so determined. And then you look at these two players, they're absolutely very good. Don't tell me they're young, because right now football is played by the younger players. They will not get the opportunity to come straight into the 24-man squad or 23-man squad for the Gambia to play in the qualifiers against either Tunisia, Madagascar, or Comoros. Where will they get the opportunity to test international football is when we play test matches. So we should endeavor to play test matches whenever the window comes. With that, the coach will get the opportunity to see these players play in a competitive game, even though it's not a qualifier or so, but they will play in a competitive game. There and then you will see what you need to adjust in these youngsters to fit into the system.
Give them confidence as well.
Yes, to give them confidence. So once they are able to play one game, two games with the national team, then they're already into the system, because these two kids at the moment are two of the players that we can rely on to fit into that system of a holding role player. If not, yeah, Ibu Adams and Hamza Bari are all good, but there needs to be that hard tackling midfielder. The days of Ibrahim Sonda needs to come back. He's a no-nonsense midfielder, because in midfield, you need to get that player who will do the dirty job. You need to get those players who will absolutely help you carry the ball. Once you get that chemistry work in the middle, it's absolutely going to gel and it's going to bring results for the team.
It really showed in the Tunisia game lack of protection for the defense. The midfielder that you're talking about is the one who would do the tackling, is the one who will be the ball winner, and apparently wouldn't go that much far. Even if the person did attacking wise going up front, the person realizes that, you know what, my responsibility mainly also is to protect the defense, that is defensive duties. So the person would come back. The second goal Tunisia scored, well, we can all describe it. But first, let's look at the goals that Tunisia scored, how they orchestrated, and then how, you know, our defenders reacted to it, especially also in midfield. Let's look at the Tunisia goals. Well, it appears we're having some trouble there. But if you look at the goals that we conceded against Tunisia, two of the goals, well, it tells you that we are conceding goals in very difficult situations, and we are unable to deal with set-piece situations. The free kick, remember, the goalkeeper couldn't deal with it. He parried it, and then there was a rebound shot.
Yeah, I think it comes down to players being alert, because when the ball is played towards your goal, you don't expect the goalkeeper to save that. If he doesn't get it in his glove, I think the second ball matters most. And when the ball was saved by Sheikh Sibi, I think most of our players in the penalty area were all stagnant and expecting Sheikh to do the job again. And the Tunisian player was absolutely there, Ali, on the right time to just nod it past the keeper. But the second goal has given me a lot of concern.
But just before you come to the second goal,
yes.
The goal is now ready. Let's look at how we conceded those goals. Second goal is one of the easiest. Quick passing, and then lay off at the edge of the box. He just put it past the keeper, just like that. And these are goals that we've kind of conceded previously. I remember the 2 goals in AFCON against Senegal, which Lamine Camara scored, the youngster, out of nothing, because he has acres of space to do the shooting, and then he did it accurately.
Look, whenever we are playing, what I've seen recently is teams don't work extremely hard to score us. But whenever we have to score, we absolutely have to work very, very hard in order to score goals. The second goal, when the ball was played on the right side, the Tunisian player moving towards goal into the penalty area, defending is not only the 4 defenders who are at the back. Everybody has to defend when we lose the ball. That is the responsibility of the 11 players on the pitch. And when Tunisia were going, where are the midfielders who were tracking the run of Ramadan? He was the player going. And when the ball was cut back, there was no one there to either stop him from taking the shot or to be in front of him to just put your body before the ball to ensure that you block the shot. So it was an easy sweep in from the midfielder when the ball gets to him. So those are areas that we absolutely have to look into and stop teams from trying to get opportunities or openings inside the penalty area and try to just have tap-ins. We should absolutely try to stop that, because if it continues to happen, it's going to be a problem for us. And looking at the Gambia, for the past 11 games, we have never kept a clean sheet. Since we last defeated Mali 1-0 in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers way back in March 2023, 11 games consecutively, we have not kept a clean sheet. That is absolutely not good for the national team.
You've conceded consistently in all 11 games.
Yes, we have conceded consistently. And talking about Lamine Camara, that goal he scored, though this one is closer when it comes to the cutback and the finish, but that one, the ball was cut back towards the edge of the penalty area. And I think the midfielders should have scanned that area, and around the D, you don't just allow players to have the opportunity to take shots around that area. So that comes back to the defensive compatibility of the team. Whenever we lose the ball, everybody has to go down as a team to defend. And Lamine Camara, I will use him as an example. He was with these players that we're talking about, the Badgers, the Aruna Rashid Njai and stuff, at the under-20 in Egypt.
Yes.
And he played them at the final. I remember meeting him at the final, and he was like, "Oh, no, guy, for this one, you have to let us win." And I was like, "No, we need this one more than you guys." Because he saw the kind of team that we had back then, the Gambian team. And all those who watched the AFCON under-20 in Egypt absolutely respected that Gambian team, so much so that they expected us to get to the final and win the trophy. We were unfortunate to lose against Senegal. So those are the players who are absolutely doing it for the Senegalese team. So I see no reason why the Badgers, the Aruna Rashid Njais cannot cannot be transferred to the national team and do us the good. So once we are able to solve that issue, it will absolutely affect us in our games, because you cannot concede goals, you create chances, and you cannot score. It's going to be difficult for you to win.
Difficult for you to win. We also conceded a similar goal like that. This was in 2019, World Cup qualifiers against Angola at the Independence Stadium. It was a free kick, and then Wilson headed it into the back of the net of the Gambia. Just look at the description of that goal as well. The way we conceded that goal against Angola, World Cup qualifiers, 2019 at the Independence Stadium. You'll see a similar situation. It's kind of very disheartening with the way we concede goals concerning the defense. The way the ball is swept in, especially when it comes to from corner kicks and free kicks, our defenders or our players and team in general does not seem to have the response to those kind of realities and the way we concede goals. The goalkeeping departments, we need some improvements as well.
Yeah, it's a collective one. We need improvements in the goalkeeping department, and we also need improvement in defense. There needs to be that command. The defender will scan the area, know the position of his teammates, and absolutely know the position of the opponent players to be like, okay, X, pick him up, pick that guy. And it's also the responsibility of the goalkeeper to always be communicating, because where you are standing, you're seeing everybody. So it's down to you to communicate to your defenders that take Mr. X, take B, take X, take A. So if you are able to position your defenders very well to ensure that the opponents, everyone is man, it's such kind of goals will be very difficult to take. And you look at the last player close to the far post, he didn't know that somebody was coming behind him. So for him, that ball was going out. Before he realized it was just a player behind him, it's in the back of the net. So those are things that we absolutely need not to take in modern day football. If you are to concede this kind of goals, it's absolutely going to be very difficult for you. And I could also remember a game against, is it DR Congo, where Bruno Ekule Manga scored us. It was more or less the same thing. An aerial ball floated into the penalty area. Nobody picked him up, nobody communicated, and he was there to head it in. So these are issues and these are goals that we absolutely have to stop conceding, because right now, it is, to me, I can see it as it's a very big job for McKinstry. One, he has to figure out to stop conceding easy goals. Two, he has to figure out to ensure that we score goals and we take our chances and score goals. So once this, with the kind of football that he's wanting to implement with the national team, if he's able to put a stop to this too, stop conceding cheap goals, take your chances, I think Gambia will definitely be a force to reckon with in the African continent, and a lot of nations will definitely show us respect.
Not to try to blame individual players here, but when it comes to the goalkeepers, Sexibi in the game against Tunisia, aerial balls, corner balls, we've seen it time and time again in top-level football. Keepers, most of the time, would win balls, aerial balls, unless if they miss out and then there is a player who headed out. But 99% chances of keepers, because they will gauge the ball, they will know where to position themselves. But in our case, he struggles. It's either he parries the ball, he punches it wide a little bit away from the post, and those are the areas, dangerous areas where you can concede goals.
I've seen two things in it. One, it's the confidence of the player. Two is the timing. Because if you are able to have that confidence to be coming out of your goal line and be in the 6-yard area or in the 18-yard box, and also you have a perfect timing to know where this ball coming will land, you will absolutely be going out for them. Because the 18-yard area is your zone. So I think I see no reason why players, goalkeepers should allow players to score easy goals. There are certain goalkeepers, a striker won't dare put your head when the ball is coming inside the 6-yard area. You definitely know that goalkeeper is coming for it. So I think it's down to the goalkeeper's confidence to be coming out for those balls. And also the timing needs to be very much accurate. If the timing is not accurate, it's going to be a problem. At times before you get there, the striker is there and you head it past you. So once he's able to sort that out, I think it will help him. The Manchester United fans are complaining about De Gea. He's also a similar goalkeeper like that. Hardly comes out for this aerial ball. So I think we need to get that commanding goalkeeper who will be very confident, who will have his timings perfect to come for those balls. It will really help the team.
In terms of the coach, is it going to be another trial and error in the goalkeeping department? There are instances where we saw Ibrahim Ajaju played twice, and then we saw changes again, Sexibi now for the last 2 games. Is it a little bit of crisis?
I would not say crisis per se, but I think there's a problem. And it will take me back to international.
Every national team has a #1 goalkeeper.
Yes.
Unless he is injured,
yes,
that person is untouchable.
Yes, absolutely. Right now, on the Tom, we all knew that, yeah, Toldo was playing for some time, but it came to a time where we all knew that Baboucarr Gueye was the first guy in between the sticks. He had injuries, and of course it affected him. So we're expecting that he will recover fully and start playing and come back to his position in the national team. But with the 3 goalkeepers that we have, if a goalkeeper does bad in this game, would you change him in the next game, or will you still stick to him? It takes me back to the issue of international test matches. Look, Lamine Seydi was a very good goalkeeper, very good with his feet and absolutely good in saves. Excuse me. He helped Real de Banjul win the league back to back. He was taken into these qualifiers. Just one would say Sheikh Sibi and Ibrahim Ajaju are playing as professionals outside the Gambia. They might have the experience or so. That would have given them the edge over Sadie. Now, where and when will Sadie have a place or have minutes in the national team? Not in international
matches,
qualifiers.
yes, because he will not be thrown into the fray.
A coach will not want to try a goalkeeper in a qualifier. Yeah. No, it's down to a goalkeeper that he has the confidence that, look, this goalkeeper can do me goods in this game. So unless we play international matches, friendly matches, to integrate these players into competitive games in the national team, it is going to be very, very difficult for us to have a #1 goalkeeper. When, okay, we are to play Madagascar in the qualifiers, every Gambian will know that, for the goalkeeping department, Gajaga is #1. If that doesn't happen, it's going to be a very big problem for Mackenzie and his technicians, because they will keep trying. Because in the last 2 games, they've tried Sheikh Sibi. They will go back and analyze the performance of Sheikh Sibi. That will warrant whether he will play against Madagascar or Ibrahima Jaju will play against Madagascar. If they didn't go with Sibi, they would end up going with Jaju. Unless Babukar starts playing and does very well for his club, then he will come into the fray. Now, where will Sadie get the opportunity? Let's endeavor to play test matches.
International friendly matches are hugely important. It sharpens the players, helps the coach, put his team together, because for highly competitive matches, it's only 5 days. Some players would get even 4 days, some even 3 days. Some would come 2 days before the game. Some maybe a night even before the game, depending on travel and where the player plays. So those are hugely important. We'll go on a short break, and when we're back, we will be talking about the group standing. Tunisia, Comoros, of course, now second, and Gambia third, Madagascar rock bottom. What's going to happen in the next windows of qualifiers? In October, it's a double leg against Madagascar.
Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the Qcell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. That's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. Qcell, Senior Plus. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. This is Qsports, and I'm Mumutu Gajaga. We're talking about Gambia against Tunisia, losing to Tunisia by 2-1. Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, Morocco 2025. Are we in a precarious position? Will the Gambia qualify this time around as we quest to get into the AFCON for the 3rd time in a row? Is it all over, or there is still hope? Well, of course, there are 4 matches to play. If you win all 4, that's 12 points. That's automatic qualification, either as the team who finishes top on the group or the runner-up, because it's the top 2 in each group that will qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. In Group A, where Gambia is, currently is Tunisia on top with a 100% record. That is a win against the Gambia, their second game, and also their first game, they won 1-0 against Madagascar. The goal coming in the nick of time. Well, Amadou Tamba, what is your expectation? The remaining 4 games, double leg against Madagascar, and later on we'll be playing Tunisia, we'll be playing Comoros as well. With the stadium not on the utilization for now, still under ban, unless the renovation works finish and gets approval from the Confederation of African Football, seems Morocco would still continue to be home. And the last game against Tunisia, if that game had been played at this stadium, could we have a different result?
Well, we could have a different result. We could not have a different results because Gambian fans are absolutely unpredictable.
You remember in 2015 against Namibia, free kick, the opposition team.
Yes.
You're meant to be supporting your national team. Yes, the players were not playing well. I know everybody was angry, but when Namibia had that free kick, Gambian supporters turned against their own team and their players to say, goal, goal, and then they ended up scoring the free kick. 1-0 to Namibia.
And the Namibian coach had to praise the Gambian fans at the press conference.
Exactly.
So that's how it is. But look, it's going to be difficult. But looking at this game against Tunisia, as you said, if it was played in Banjul, it would have had a very good impact on the boys, knowing that the 12th man is absolutely very important in a beautiful game. Yes, the fans could have pushed the team to ensure that they go on to win the game. But what transpired in that game, if it transpires here, don't be surprised if you see fans turning against this team, because we know how Gambian fans are. They're very passionate about their national team. They will support the national team. But if it goes to the wire, they're looking for a win, they're looking for that goal, and the team is creating chances and missing chances. Some of them will turn and will be like, Naga scores, score. So they will turn to support the other team, because what they're looking for, you're not giving them. So that is the unfortunate part of it. But if it was played here with the Souths, the Gambian flags waving here and there, I think the players will be extra motivated to go on and deliver the goods in that game. But look, all is not lost here. We have 4 more games, 12 points to play for. I still believe that in those 2 games that we played in Morocco, the Gambia will be one of the most disappointed teams. Judging by what happened, we should have been the team walking out of Morocco with a maximum 6 points. By now, Tunisia will be on 3. And if we're able to get the results against Madagascar, we will be absolutely up there. But I think it's still doable. It's still doable, definitely. But where we will be judged is these 2 games against Madagascar. If we cannot pick maximum 6 points or at least 4, it's going to be difficult for us to get to the Morocco African Cup of Nations. Remember, we qualified here for our first edition, but the second one we played away. It was in Morocco, and we were trailing 2-0 in the first half. We came back in the second half and scored 2 goals that warranted our qualification. So we can do it even outside the Gambia, but we definitely have to make this Madagascar game count. Madagascar is a good team. They played against Tunisia. They also didn't take their chances against Tunisia. If they had, it would have been a different story. So we absolutely have to get maximum 6 points against Madagascar, or at least 4 points, and expect Tunisia to do the goods against Comoros, because if Tunisia beats Comoros, they will be on 9 points. Comoros will still remain on 2. If we are able to win against Madagascar in the first game, we will absolutely be on 4 points, so that is good for us. We go into the double header, that is the second game. If we can't win, we pick a point, and we expect Tunisia also not to drop maximum points against Comoros, so that will absolutely be very good for us. So for me, all is not lost. It's still doable. Let's go do our homework, try to take our chances in games that we play. We will absolutely be very hopeful of getting to Morocco.
And in the group standings, if you look at it so far, Tunisia top on 6 points, Comoros second after drawing their second game, that is against Madagascar. They drew against the Gambia. That's why they're in second place. And for us, single point. In third place, Madagascar are yet to, or 1 point so far as well, if you look at the standings. But getting into the last 4 games, the double legger against Madagascar, if you look at it, at least in that 12 points to play for, the Gambia needs to get 9 out of it, plus the 1 point that we have. At least 10 points, no matter what happened, is either you finish top of the group or you finish second. And if that happens, then automatically you get qualification to the Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. Is this doable?
It is.
Looking at the realities, missing chances, conceding easy goals.
It is doable. First, let's look at McKinstry. He was giving a contract and tasked to qualify us to the Cup of Nations. Now, he has to be very much straightforward with the players. Look, this is a qualifier. We cannot be missing chances. And I know all these players will absolutely be disappointed after the game against Comoros, after the game against Tunisia, all of them will be absolutely disappointed. Now it's down to them to assess themselves as individuals, and collectively for the coach to assess everybody and say, guys, look, you are absolutely better than this, and we have to make this different in our next game. So it is absolutely doable once the players know where they fell short in the last 2 games and work towards solving that problem in the game against Madagascar. Because if we don't, as I said before, if you don't take chances, you cannot win games, and if you don't win games, you cannot qualify. So that is a fundamental thing here. The coach have to figure out to score goals and try to win games and then qualify. Whether there will be a change of personnel, yes, I think there will be a change of personnel, because in the next game against Madagascar, the 24 will definitely not be the same. We will have other players coming in, and the starting 11 possibly will not be the same as well, because he's still looking at the players that will help him take chances. As I said at the beginning, I felt sorry for him, looking at the body language, looking at his comportment at the press conference after the Tunisia defeat. You know that it's absolutely very shocking. Yes, a team can play so well and create few chances in a game and lose. You will be okay. But a team cannot play so well, create 3, 4, 5, 6 chances, and you take 1. It's absolutely very disappointing. So you could see that disappointment in him. That tells us that he will absolutely change things in the next game. And the assistants, Abdul Jame and others, will absolutely help him figure out how to take chances in the next game. So if we are able to figure that out and try to take chances, that game, that 4th game that will come against Madagascar is of significant importance. Because if we cannot win that game, it's really going to be a problem. So to me, I think it's doable once we figure out take our chances and win the next game against Madagascar. If we win that, we are on the right track to qualify. But if we don't win that game, it's going to be difficult. But to answer your question, it's doable. Realistically, it's doable. If we don't qualify in this group, it's a disappointment.
In the group, as we play the double leg against Madagascar, it is going to be Tunisia's turn to play against Comoros. If Tunisia defeats Comoros twice in this when it comes to the number of points they're going to accumulate, obviously, it's going to be 12 points. Yes. Automatically, Tunisia qualify. They book their place in Morocco 2025. If that happens, the only 3 points Comoros is going to play for is against us. So if we get the double win against Madagascar, we are very close to being in a safe position, if that's the case.
Yeah, so Tunisia will do their maths very well. They will know that, okay, this is a qualifier, so let's try to ensure that we book our ticket to Morocco as quick as possible. So a double win against Comoros is 12 points. With 12 points, you definitely qualify to the tournament. Now, Tunisia will definitely want to do that. Once they are able to do that against Comoros, it's now down to us to try and get the points against Madagascar. If we are able to do a double against Madagascar, and mind you, our last game in the qualifiers will be against Tunisia. We might not even face a strong Tunisian side. Even if Tunisia are at their best.
With all their players, yeah, obviously.
Of course.
We will give them a good run for their money.
Gambia can beat Tunisia. So now we have to try and get the results against Madagascar and expect Tunisia to do us good and do themselves good as well in their games against Comoros, because I know they will have a very strong test from Comoros, but I think Tunisia will definitely have the edge over Comoros, looking at what we've seen already in the qualifiers. So the maths absolutely favors us, but that depends on if we will be able to do our job. We have to do our job for the maths to favor us. If we don't do our job, it's going to be difficult.
Will we be in a situation where the stadium is ready, we play at the stadium, advantage Gambia, or still, playing home games away from home in Morocco? How would this impact our performance against our opposition, that is Madagascar, and then later Comoros?
I don't think when we play Madagascar next, we will be able to play at home. I'm not sure.
Is it in October?
Yeah, I'm not sure October we'll be able to play. We're almost in mid-September. So October for me, I am not sure that we'll be playing at home. But what we need to do now to ensure that the 12-man advantage helps is to win against Madagascar. If we are going to play against Madagascar in Morocco, let's try to win. Now, if we try to win the second game, that is the return leg against Madagascar. That would be a moral booster for the players and the Gambian fans. And the next tie that we'll be playing at home, that is of course against Comoros, is a home game. If we are to play that in Banjul, if you are to leave your house at 12 p.m., I don't think you'll have a place in the stadium. Because
on that day, I'm envisaging something like
exactly. So that would be an added advantage. But if we don't pick up points against Madagascar and have to play Comoros at home, I don't think the players will be able to take that pressure, because the fans will absolutely put a lot of pressure on the players, because they will want the team to go all out and win. It doesn't matter what happens, they have to win at all cost. So that will be absolutely a very big pressure. But if we pick points against Madagascar and we have to play at home here against Comoros with the backing of the fans, that will be exciting. Absolutely, it will be an electrifying atmosphere to be around.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Gambia government, on the ongoing work at the Independence Stadium, can it be done in quick succession? And after the work is finished, will it be approved by the Confederation of African Football? Because remember, if it is the pitch, well, Amadou, you and I watched the Ghana-Niger game. Well, the Ghana-Niger game, that one was played away. But when Ghana hosted Angola, which was played at the Baba Yaro Stadium, that pitch is absolute rubbish.
Yeah, that's why
the match shouldn't have been played on that pitch. No wonder after the game now, because of criticism, the pitch is banned, or the stadium is banned. Ghana also have to play their home matches away until and unless they sort out their stadium issue, which is very embarrassing. The journalists have been talking about it. We've been criticizing ours as well, that a whole country not having a functioning stadium that is playable, that's disaster.
Absolute disaster. And I will say thumbs up to CAF and FIFA, because if they had not done this, a lot of countries will not absolutely do the right thing when it comes to their stadiums. Because, I mean, come on. Most of these players need to play on very good pitches, and they need to be absolutely exposed to modern day facilities before they leave their countries for professional football. So I think CAF really...
And you need to protect them as well.
Yeah.
You can't play for your club in England and then comes to play at the Independence Stadium when the pitch is so bad, you get a twisted ankle or injuries that will hamper your career.
Yeah, some of the players will even be careful. They'll be very careful. A ball that is supposed to run and collect, if they know that the ground is not good enough, he will not put in extra effort to get to that ball. So it's really very important to have very good pitches around Africa, and to have modern day stadiums. It's also very, very good. And I think that will help in terms of performance. Just look at the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. An absolute brilliant African Cup of Nations. The pitches are very good. So the players were very much comfortable to do whatever they're supposed to do on the pitch for their nations. So it's good that we have this. For the Gambia, I've been saying this and I will continue to say, even if this Independence Stadium is done with a renovation or so, we still need a stadium. We definitely need a stadium. And other mini stadiums as well needs to be up to the standards. Look, I can boast to say Gambia is one of, if not the best countries with natural talent. We are naturally gifted. You go out here and see a kid display the ball, you will wonder where he learned the skills. It's a natural gift. So what will happen if those kids are exposed to modern day pitches? We have the Messis, we have the Ronaldos out in our streets. All they need is an absolute good playing surface for them to exercise what they love doing. And of course, we will get so many top players from the Gambia here. So let's do the right things to get our infrastructures up and running, and it's good for us. And thumbs up to CAF for putting a stamp on countries that does not have the best of playing pitches and the best of stadiums to upgrade.
Talking about the players who play in our national team recently, some of them have been doing very well. And the team captain, who in the absence of the first captain, that's Omar Koli, Musa Barrow, scored again for Al Tawoun yesterday. A very beautiful goal. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's a good one. It takes me back to my earlier statement that we need to look at why are they doing it for their clubs, and when they come to the national team, they struggle.
They struggle.
And they have very big chances and miss. So we have to figure that out. Musa, it's very good, and I'm happy for him that after the international break, he returns back to Al Tawoun and starts scoring goals, because they have high hopes on him that he's a fine player that can help them get to their dreamland. So it's very good for him, and let him keep scoring, and so try and ensure that when he comes into the national team, he do that, because he's a player that is very much loved, and a lot of Gambians have faith in him that he's a player that can absolutely deliver something very good for the Gambia. So it's good for him, and we are getting into the weekend today and tomorrow. A lot other Gambian players will be playing, and absolutely we will have them scoring goals. So let's pray that they continue banging goals for their clubs, and when they come to the national team, it continues. And
this afternoon, Yankuba Minte's Brighton and Hove Albion will be playing against Ipswich. Another game where he can shine? Yeah,
we're still waiting for his first goal in the Premier League, but I think Yankuba needs to look into his goal scoring attributes. I think as a winger right now, you judge by the amount of goals you create and the goals that you score. He's a fine player. He has the pace, has the dribbling qualities, and of course now he needs to put goals part of his games. So that is an important aspect, because you look at Brighton and modern day wingers. If your strength is on the left, you played on the right wing. For the simple reason, you have the opportunity to cut in and try to go for goal. And if Yankuba is confident enough to go for that, I think he'll be able to score a lot of goals. And to also try to be playing quick 1-2. When you cut inside, you have the pace. Just place the ball infield and try to figure your way out there. And a return pass to you, you are in the penalty area, you'll be able to score goals. So I think he needs to put goals part of his game. Take nothing out of this kid. He's an absolute brilliant kid. If he's to improve on decision making in the final third and put goals part of his game, no defender will want to face him.
I think that's where his challenge is when he faced the Tunisia goalkeeper in that one-on-one situation. Yes, I think that's where Messi beats most players, but no one is like Messi. So that's the problem when it comes to slotting the ball, you know, having a chip over the goalkeeper, putting it sideways. The easiest and the simplest of goals. Let it just get inside the back of the net. It doesn't matter how you put it in there.
I debated that chance with someone for us, because I wrote a piece on Facebook, and it was like, no, because I was like, the position that Yankuba was, it would be difficult for him to shoot straight and score. Sorry. The defender was behind him.
Yes.
He was in
the gap was very close.
Yeah, the gap was very close. He would have taken one touch to move the ball away from the goalkeeper, and he would have had an open goal, just a simple tap in. But he decided to shoot, and the guy was like, no, if he had taken that touch, you would have said, oh, he should have shot at once. I was like, no. Go back to the Brighton game against Kasima Antlers in the preseason and look at the goal that Yankuba scored against Kasima Antlers. That was pure intelligence, pure calm in the penalty area. Yes. And I believe that would have been the same scenario for Yankuba in the game against Tunisia. Just take a touch. The goalkeeper will absolutely try to avoid you.
Avoid you, yes.
Because he knew
any touch was going to be a penalty.
Exactly. Yeah. He will know any touch will be a penalty, and just have a simple tap in. And I know the kid is intelligent. So it's down to him having that confidence and be relaxed enough to take the right decisions at the right time. If he's able to do that, I believe it will be difficult for defenders to control him, and he will absolutely be creating goals and scoring goals game in, game out.
Yes, we wish our players all the best of luck in their matches this weekend, next weekend, and the subsequent league matches, the likes of Aliou Fadera, some other players who are injured, for them to recover from injury and start playing again. The ones who are supposed to score goals, the defenders. Just before we sign off, Amadou, let's talk about the captain. Omar Colley came back into the team, but we eventually lost, but he's back to his club again. Just under 30 seconds. Yeah,
Omar is a good player. He's a leader, and I see that he will continue to play for top clubs, because right now, left-sided central defender, it's really very difficult. A left-footed centre-back is difficult for so many clubs to have. So he's a fine player, and he's been a very good leader for the Scorpions. We wish him all the best at PAOK, as he's playing with the former Chelsea midfielder Timui Bakayoko. So all the very best of luck to OJ.
Best of luck to OJ and all the Gambian players who are playing abroad. Thank you very much for watching. This is Qsports, and until we come your way next week at the same time, keep on sporting, and bye for now.